We've seen quite a lot of what the Royal Air Force can do, formation aerobatics, solo displays. Now we're going to see what its day job is. The RAF's going to present its role demonstration. This is as near as you can get without being in a war zone, what it actually does for us, for you and for me. This is what we pay our taxes for. They use a fictitious scenario, a made-up story, to demonstrate a representative range of the roles of what the RAF is doing today in all sorts of places around the world. The story is that an ongoing European Union-led peace support operation has asked the United Kingdom to deploy, as the military say, provide, if you like, some of our national defence assets, and they specifically want us to take possession of a disused airfield. That airfield will then become a forward operating base in support of more European Union peace operations. Now, the airfield is the one here in the pictures. It's right on the edge of hostile territory. The mission objective is to secure this disused airfield, to neutralise any opposition and to start using the airfield as a forward operating base. UK forces have been deployed to a position about 150 miles away. There's been air reconnaissance of the airfield over the past few days. Intelligence has been gathered about enemy force strength and the positions. A small force was inserted, as they say, 2 days ago. Amongst them were Royal Air Force Regiment Forward Air Controllers. They play a vital role in the kind of things that we're going to see in here, and their job is to coordinate what's happening in the air with what's going on in the ground. So here's the disused airfield. The mission has been planned and briefed, and it's about to start. The first task is to establish and maintain air superiority. That means you've got to have control of your own airspace before any other operations can go ahead. Air superiority means having air defence fighter aircraft. And the first to arrive are two RAF Tornado F-3s. Tornado F-3's been the RAF's prime air defence interceptor fighter for more than 20 years. Its task: to protect our airspace. F-3s can't do their job alone. They need information on aircraft movements. It's called the air picture. In this case, they need a Boeing E-3D Sentry AEW Mark I aircraft, call sign Magic. Next aircraft on the scene is the RAF's troop and load-carrying heavy lift support helicopter, Chinook, call sign Boxer. Chinook can be an airborne crane, and in that role it can lift up to 10 tons. It can also be a truck for carrying vehicles, artillery and supplies, either within the aircraft or slung below it. But as the Chinook lands and unloads its troops, the enemy are ready for them with ground fire. The Tornado GR4s establish a close air support wagon wheel above the battlefield, and they've got their targeting information from the FAC. They'll acquire the target, check and double-check that they've identified the right one, and then make their attack. The enemy is still going strong, and we need more ground forces as soon as possible. The new troops will arrive by C-130J Hercules, call sign Albert. This is a tactical air landing operation, Taylor. It means the aircraft can arrive, get the troops and equipment off, and get airborne again as quickly as possible. They can do this in all weathers, day or night, using night vision goggles. The speed of this bit is vitally important. Aircraft are at their most vulnerable when they're on the ground. Albert will need to be particularly quick today. Enemy aircraft are on their way, at speed. Those unknown bogey fighters that Magic detected earlier have now been identified as enemy bandits. Our F-3 fighters have been ordered to intercept them. It's all about mutual support. High above, the Sentry has the air picture, and it's in control of the whole situation. The Tornado F-3 Combat Air Patrol ensures that nothing can intrude into the airspace above the battlefield. And finally, the close air support aircraft orbiting the battlefield can give support for the ground troops on call. Everybody provides joint support for everybody else. And in fact, there are more enemy forces approaching the other end of the airfield. In a nice piece of battlefield flexibility, the Chinook is recalled by the sentry to reposition the ground troops to face the new threat. The F-3's got several air-to-air missile and radar systems. It can engage and destroy aircraft that are far enough away to be invisible to the eye. But for much closer targets, it can fire its ASRAMs, that's Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missiles, and closer still, it can use its 27mm cannon in a dogfight. It's not over yet. The enemy has regrouped. He's about to make one final attack in strength. He needs to be dealt with quickly. 2 more GR4s are racing to the scene. They'll have to attack on their first pass, as we need a quick and firm result. The forward air controllers are again guiding the aircraft to their targets, and the crews have got the targeting information. That whole scenario all adds up to an excellent illustration of everything we've come to expect from the Royal Air Force. Adaptability, teamwork, dedication to getting the job done, and above all, courage. This is how the RAF has always tackled combat situations. But we all read the papers, we all know that today's front line is to be found in some of the bloodiest, the most dangerous and the most politically complex places in the world. Now, the men and women that you've been watching today are the very people who fight in those places on our behalf. They're not stand-ins, they're not actors for all the showmanship that they've shown you. They've been to all those places that we wish we didn't have to hear about every day on the news. And every single day they're out there, these people are having to invent new ways of dealing with all these highly demanding situations. On the job, in unfamiliar territory, with courage, and maybe a dash of black humour. It's not easy, can be dirty, and it can feel unrewarding. In spite of all this, they are doing a fantastic job. They wouldn't be Britain's armed forces if they weren't. Sometimes, though, it's important that they know that people like you and me really appreciate what they're doing, so that they can tell their colleagues that we understand the ways that they put themselves on the line for us, and how much we truly appreciate them. So, that's it. This has been the Royal International Air Tattoo 2007. From me, Sean Maffett, goodbye.